we have to invest about 52 to 56 billion US dollar for the capex, right? If we didn't do it carefully, and that would be a big disaster to TSMC for sure. I want to make sure that my customers' demand are real. The answer is that I'm quite satisfied with the answer. Yeah, very rich. That sounds much better than TSMC. So no doubt. Essentially, you try to ask whether the AI demand is real or not. I'm also very nervous about it. In fact, so we have to invest about 52 to 56 billion US dollar for the capex, right? If we didn't do it carefully, and that would be a big disaster to TSMC for sure. So of course, I spent a lot of time in the last 3-4 months talking to my customer, and then customer's customer. I want to make sure that my customers' demand are real. So I talked to those cloud service providers, all of them. Actually, they show me the evidence that the AI really help their business. So they grow their business successfully and healthy in their financial return. So I also double check their financial status. They are very rich. That sounds much better than TSMC. So no doubt.
We'll go here, Sunny Lin, UBS, and then.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Very strong results. Congratulations. So number one, if we look at the company, very different versus in the past from many angles. But if we look at the ramp from new node, now you can generate actually higher revenue from new node in year 4, even year 5 of mass production versus in the past. New node like peak revenue in the second or even third year of mass production. And so could you help us understand with this new trend, what's the financial implications? And then what does that imply for you to operate or even compete differently versus in the past?
So Sunny's first question, I think maybe is related, well, to our technology differentiation, but she notes that when we ramp a new, in the past when we have a new node, after a few years, sort of, the revenue or comes down a bit, but she notes that nowadays we can still enjoy very high revenue from a node even after in its 4th or 5th year. So her question is, what are the financial implications from this, and also from a, I believe, competitive dynamics?
I can answer, say we are lucky. Actually, if you look at the semiconductors product, right now the trend is you need to have a low power consumption always, and then high speed performance. And for TSMC, our technology differentiation become more and more clear. We have both benefit. We have a high speed and we have a low power consumption. And so our leading edge customer, the first wave, the second wave, the third wave continue to come, and so that sustain the demand for a long time. That's a difference. Of course, this one, you need to have technology leadership, and which the technology leadership much easier to say, but every year you have to improve. As we said, we have a N2, N2P, and then you won't be surprised, and the third one will be N2 something, and continuously. And so that one gives us the benefit and to support our customers' continuous innovation. And so they continue to stay with TSMC, and so their product can be very competitive in the market. So that answers the question, say that, once we got the peak revenue and did not decrease, it's continuous, because second wave, third wave, customer continue to join.
Thank you very much, CC. And then maybe a question on 2 nanometer, which you see meaningful revenue coming through in 2026. And so in the past, you guide like how much a new node will contribute to sales for the year. And so any expectations on the revenue contribution from 2 nanometer in 2026? And then I recall in terms of process migration, a few years ago, there were lots of concerns on increasing cost per transistor. And that obviously is not declining from 5 nanometer. But then now looking at 2 nanometer, I think process migration seems to be re-accelerating, even for smartphone and PC. And then with larger demand coming from high-performance compute. And so maybe based on your feedback from clients, maybe for smartphone and PC clients, why are they re-accelerating process migration into 2 nanometer?
Okay, so Sunny's second question very quickly in 2 parts. 2 nanometer, as we said, is a fast ramp in 2026. Very strong customer interest and demand. So what do we have any revenue percentage to guide for in 2026?
Yeah, Sunny, the 2 nanometer will be a bigger node than 3 nanometer from the start. Okay. But it's less meaningful nowadays to talk about the percentage of revenue contribution when the new node starts, because the corporate, as a whole, the revenue has become much bigger than before. So yeah, revenue dollar, it's a bigger node. But percentage-wise, less meaningful.
And then the second part of Sunny's question from a technology perspective, as she noted, increasing cost per transistor, as we said, capex per K going higher. So her question very simply, what's the value? What's driving smartphone, HPC customers actually to see, we're seeing a widening out of the adoption of N2. So what is the value that it's providing that the customers are willing to adopt N2?
I already answered the question, right? Because of now the whole product is looking for low power consumption and high speed performance. And our technology can provide that value. I also say that every year we improve. So every year they adopt the same, even the same name of the same node, their product continue to improve. So that provides the value. It's, if you say that the cost per transistor is increased, I thought the cost per transistor, the performance compared that called the speed value is increased. It's much better, so that customer stick with the TSMC. Our headache right now, if I can call it headache, is a demand and the supply gap. We need to work hard to narrow the gap.
Very clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.